never, never, never say never again. Never say never again. Even 12 years later, you get a fat check to do it one more time. That's basically what happened here. Connery got a fat ass check to be back in the Bond one more time, 12 years after he retired, after saying he didn't like the character and all that. Never Say Never Again is the only non-Eon, I don't think it's the only one, there's like two I think that are non-Eon, but it's not part of the actual Bond series. Like, it wasn't done by the people who had the rights for Bond at the time. It is completely on its own. But it is Sean Connery returning to the role. I find that the name of the movie, too, it's like you name the movie Never Say Never Again simply off of the joke that Sean Connery would never come back, and yet Never Say Never Again. And look, let's get it out of the way right now. Yes, it is Thunderball. It is Thunderball, okay? The same character names, the same plot, exactly. Same Largo, Domino, Patachi. Like, that's it. You get the Bond villainess who wants to kill Bond, and Bond sleeps with her, and all that ilk. It's Never Say Never Again. It isn't. It's Thunderball. It is freaking Thunderball. And if you just view it like that, it's just a rip off of Thunderball. It's literally just Thunderball, but worse. Then yeah, it's a shit movie. But let's take that out of the equation for a second. If you just look at it, watch it as the movie, is it that bad of a Bond movie? I'll be honest, no. It's actually a fairly passable Bond movie when you take out the whole, Connery's clearly on the older side, shouldn't be in this role anymore, and it's clearly Thunderball, but take those two things out of the equation, it's a fairly, it's not the best one by a long shot, but it's really not the worst one either. It's just kind of okay. So, I mean, in this movie, Sean Connery's Bond, they actually do address his age to a certain degree, though, because they do mention that Connery's Bond, the Double O's had been retired. Like, they're no longer, Bond had been teaching for the last several years, minimum. So it's clear, and what they're showing him, like they show in the beginning, is there is no Bond intro to this one. There's just the theme song and Connery going to rescue a girl. It's a simulation apparently, and he fails the simulation by getting stabbed, and he addresses the fact they're out of practice, all that. They're out of practice. He's been spending his time teaching. So it's like clear, and obviously they send him to a health spa to, like Thunderball much, to, get those free radicals out, change your diet up, all that. And then obviously you get the plot, obviously, with Thunderball coming in there and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, so I do like they do kind of explain a few things off. And what I kind of like to treat this Bond film as is if this took place in the actual Sean Connery era universe of Bond. Like, this is Sean Connery Bond's final movie, but Thunderball never actually happened. That's the thing. And to be fair, they never used the term Thunderball in this movie. Yeah, they did. So, what if Thunderball didn't happen? And this is actually what the end of the line for Sean Connery's James Bond. What actually happened to his James Bond versus like a Roger Moore or whatever. Coming out the same year as Octopussy 2, which was interesting. First off, let's get addressed some of the things right now. Sean Connery did not give two shits about this role. They gave him a paycheck because, like you said, fuck is alright, but I'm not even doing their accent. I'm not even going to put on the English accent. It's just me and my Scottish accent. If you don't like that, you can bugger off. And, yeah. You listen to that, it's like, no, he's not trying. He's not trying at all to do an English accent. He's doing his Scottish accent. And you know what? It is noticeable at first, but after a while, because it's Sean Connery, you're like, screw it. Whatever. Excuse me, I just got to adjust my back a little bit. Oh, that's better. So, Yeah, there is that. I mean, the fact that it's Thunderball pretty much does make it uh, kind of irritating, especially if you can't get that out of your head. But I will actually address a couple things here and bear with me a little bit. This one kind of did a little better than Thunderball, which is really weird to say. Now, I mentioned it in the Thunderball review, but one thing I actually did appreciate in this movie is the fact that they did make it clear what Largo and Domino's relationship was. Is that no, they were a couple in this world, like in this movie. They are in a relationship. Whereas because of how old Largo is in the original Thunderball and how young Domino appears in Thunderball as well, I never got the idea that they were having a relationship, like they were sleeping together and stuff. I never got that. Whereas clearly that is the case here. They're in a relationship. So I did appreciate that. Also, point out where they actually attempted to do different things than Thunderball did. The whole like a virtual gambling game where the stake of the world is the fate of the world is at stake. It's very 80s, sure, but it is different. It is different. So, props from them trying that. So yeah, there is that. Bond also gets laid a lot in this movie, and I mean, good for him. Sean Connery, he deserves it. But you know what? The what I can honestly say is, I mentioned that the Bond villainess, who was the first real Bond villainess we ever had in a Bond film, and for Thunderball, it was just one of those like women who was just unbelievably attractive, just ungodly hot. Well, I don't, and she's very clearly, and she's clearly a villainess. She's also very, calm, cool, collect. What I appreciated about Barbara Carrilla's Fatima Blush is that she's clearly psychotic. She's very much obsessed with killing Bond. Like it's one of those things that kind of is like getting her off here. I kind of liken it to Famke Jensen's character in Goldeneye, who was getting off by killing people. So and the fact is, she is kind of nuts in this movie, and it's kind of fun to watch. Making love to Flamita was your greatest pleasure of your life. Well, to be honest, there was this girl from Philadelphia. I do like that. Like, even when a gun pointed to him, Bond's like, "Look, I don't even want to be in this movie. Take me out right now. Come on, do it. I'm here to kill me. I'm here." One of the things though I will comment on is that the fact that this is not a canon Bond movie at all means that you couldn't even get like Q in this. Because Algernon is played actually by Alec McCoven, but and it's not the original Q at all. I can't remember the original Q's name right off the top of my head. M is played by Edward Fox, and I get the impression, I can't remember if the actual actor who played M had passed away at this point, but I think he might have, because in Octopussy it's a different character playing M, so I think he might have passed away at this point. But I get that in canon too, for like this movie, the character of M, like the original M, is no longer around. He's either retired or dead. So you got this new one. And I get the fact too that the joke is this M is so stuffy and by the books that what he can't even deduce, like when Bond is right. Like, could he have used the false eye or something? Oh, let's come along, Bond. Let's think of a more rational reason. It's like, except that's exactly what fucking happens. So clearly this guy is not good at his job. But he's such a stuffy bureaucrat that it just doesn't doesn't get brought up really at all. So it is very it's very annoying actually watching that when you're like, yeah, I know if I had this guy as a boss, I'd honestly quit or tell him to fuck off, and that'd probably get me fired. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, look, Honestly, my counter argument to him would have been, let's think of a more rational reason. All right, sir, what do you suggest then, apart from my theory? And I was like, oh wait, got anything? Let's go with the false eye then. Not that it matters. It's like how it happened isn't what matters. It's getting the damn missiles back. So yeah. There are some good jokes in the movie, though. I do appreciate it. Like when he basically says, it puts that like the oh god, is he the doorman? I can't remember. I think he's like a bodyguard. Or he's like a guard or something like that. He basically says, "This bomb has a tyrant gyroscope in it. Any lateral movement on your part, and they'll be serving you in cocktail glasses or something like that." And he's basically got the guy there just holding it, not moving at all. And he basically says, "Thanks very much." It's just in cigarette cases. I'm like, okay. That was good. That was good. There are a couple other jokes that I did like too. I can't remember. Like Rowan Atkinson. From what I understand, this might have been Rowan Atkinson's actual first movie, not film, not wrong, because he was doing Blackadder and stuff like that long before he was doing this. But give me one second. Actually, what was it? Was this his first movie? So let's see. TV. Yep, Never Say Never Again was Rowan Atkinson's first legitimate movie. Now, again, let's be clear. He was doing Blackadder and Mr. Bean and stuff like that long before this. But, yeah, no, this was his first movie. And he's Rowan Atkinson. Thank God he's Rowan Atkinson. He's trying so hard to at least make something of this. Why don't we go snorkeling, Mr. Bond? I know how to protect a secret of you undercover types. So that's why you yelled my name against across the pier. Did I? Oh, Tom. I'm sorry. It's fun. It is fun. Like I said, take out the whole fact that it is just Thunderball done again, and not done as well. Let's be honest. It's still not a bad movie. If you treated the idea that, like, in this universe, let's say all the films besides Thunderball had already happened, and Bond in this was just Scottish, not English, and he's coming out like a retirement because they brought him out of retirement, then, yeah, I mean, it's really not that bad a film. Is it great? Oh, hell no. It's not. I don't know if I'd put it in the top half of the Bond films ever. Probably not. Like, even the worst Pierce Brosnan film is far better than this film, quite frankly. Any of the Daniel Craig films, Quantum of Solace might be worse than this. Again, I'll have to actually do the list eventually. But no, I'll say this, it's better than just about any of the Roger Moore ones, and that's saying something. Because as much as I like Man with a Golden Gun, I'd say this is probably better than Man with a Golden Gun, because really the big draw to that is Scaramanga. Spy Love Me's better than this, definitely. Live and Let Die, I'd argue is better than this, but I don't know. There is something, even when Sean Connery doesn't really give a shit, there is something likable to Sean Connery. So, I know it's arguable. It's probably worse than any of Sean Connery's other films, although I might actually say I like this better than You Only Live Twice. And again, because really, when you think about You Only Live Twice, I can think of a few key action shots and Blofeld. That's really the two big draws I can remember from You Only Live Twice. I don't know. When I do the list, it'll be interesting to see how this kind of lands. But ultimately, You Never Say Never Again. It's not the worst one. Again, just try to separate the obvious out of the equation. He's on the older side. He shouldn't be playing this character anymore, but he is. It's nothing more than freaking Thunderball. Take that out of the equation, and it's actually a fairly passable time. You can have a fun time with the movie. It's not anywhere near as campy as something like Octopussy or Moonraker, that's for certain. Either way, though, what do you think of Never Say Never Again? I know this one probably has some opinions to it. Put it in the comments below. Let me know. But until then, hit that bell if you want notifications, like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. So I'll be back with another video. see, this is Monday, so I got a who would win that should be up by today. And my death bell prediction is already up, so I don't need to do that. The Sanji versus Rock Lee fight should actually be premiering today, too. So, I mean, technically it premiered yesterday, but I don't have, like, the Patreon access because I'm not made of money, unfortunately. I can't support in that way. But I support by watching. So I'll have to learn about who won today. My money was on Rock Lee. I'm sure I'm probably going to be wrong on that. I've had a lot of people basically kind of getting on my case for it a little bit. But whatever. I have no issue being wrong, quite frankly. I prefer to be right, but I have no issue being wrong. I digress. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time, folks. Later.